Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Richard Groves, and I'm the founder of Sacred Art of Living Center in Bend, Oregon. And it's my privilege today to share with you some of the story and insight from a great spiritual teacher, Saint Therese of Lisieux, also known as the Little Flower. I hope that what I can share with you is more than just curiosity, but offer to you some of the questions that she wrestled with in her own soul and life that I think in some ways apply to almost every human life. Century, France in particular, other countries in Europe as well, like Belgium and Ireland, but particularly in France, there was the remnant of a movement that had started a couple of centuries earlier called Jansenism. And Jansenism was a kind of spiritual theology. It was eventually condemned by the church, but it was amazing how deep it went into the consciousness of ordinary believers. And in this approach to spirituality, the emphasis was on hellfire and damnation. It almost became a Catholic form of predestination, that people were destined to be saved or not, and most people could never achieve any kind of spiritual goodness on their own. We were horribly broken. And so the preaching was extremely severe. And the missions that were carried on in parish churches and in cathedral churches by Jansenist preachers was really, really frightening. And it was about suffering, but not suffering in a healthy kind of way, almost suffering for the sake of suffering. Suffering that would hopefully win you a hearing with God, though to be honest, most people, no matter how much you suffered, were still not going to be saved in the process. So a very bleak and dark kind of spiritual theology. And the reason I'm mentioning it here is that during Therese's life, that form of spirituality was very much still in the popular consciousness of the average person. One of the persons historically who embodies that from a women's point of view was Mère Angélique of the convent of Port Royal. She's not particularly a happy-looking person, and her preaching and her sermons were frightening. They were meant to frighten the hell out of you, literally. And this was the prevalent spiritual message that so many people in France in Therese's day were picking up. And there was something in Therese's early childhood that recognized that this was not an authentic form of spirituality, that she couldn't relate to it. In fact, even, she says, by age 7 and 8, she recognized that there was a lie here, and that she was attracted to a positive approach to the love of God. One of the things that, among the many things that Therese is a patron of, is she's patron saint of clergy. And she talks and writes a lot about